What is up, RotoGrinders? 55 minutes until lock. We have a 5-gamer, 2 games early, 3 games late. The slate is very, very clearly divided. Might even have a little bit of time between the end of the first 2 games before the last 3 fire up. Hopefully, your brackets have not been busted. Thank you for joining us on a Fleet Thursday. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. You're the first person to tell me in the Discord what athlete I am describing, 1 clue at a time. Producer Steve can go ahead and drop that first clue to get us started. It's not a great one. It's not going to help you. Let's get it out of the way. First clue is retired. So we know it's a retired athlete. All right. Myself, notorious. You know him from such things as golf and the core plays and all the goods here, all the bells, all the whistles, all the premium stuff. Noto, how's Thursday treating you? How are things in your world?
Yeah, it's good. Other than having to update content every 10 minutes, thanks to the Lakers and the Pacers and everyone else. But yeah, it's been going good. And like the people in the chat, I'm like 0 for 1,000 on your Fleet Thursdays. So hopefully, get off the schneid here and get one tonight.
Here, you're due. You're due. Probably less people watching too on a Thursday. People watching college basketball. The contest's a little bit smaller as well, so you better your chances. If you happen to know the answer, Noto, let's not spoil it for the people. Just kind of tell us in the private chat here on the StreamYard, and we'll give you your props. Same rules for you, Kirkwood.
Nah. If I know it, I'm saying it. If I know it, I'm saying
it. You just want the world to burn.
There's about 0% chance that I get it. So if I'd actually get it, I'm saying it. I'm sorry.
Well, what if I pick somebody that catered to you? Like, I go Kirkwood's.
I still won't see it that way. I'll be like, Dean's trying to trick me here. He's
Have you been watching the Max Boston like 7 or 8 episode series that Bill Simmons is?
No, I need to watch it. I have so much, but I've been watching The White Lotus, and I'm upset that everybody was upset at the first few episodes. I was like, this is what The White Lotus is. It's like they got to build
it's a slow build.
Just build all the pawns, and then we got an electric show last week, right? Like that was pretty electric, huh?
It was
that dinner conversation.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah, Sam Rockwell and Walton. Walton is spectacular as well. That reaction he has got, it has to be a meme now. I assume it's a meme these days. Noto, are you on board with the White Lotus?
Yep, caught up. I think we caught up 2 nights ago, last night. When's the latest episode been out?
Sunday, every Sunday.
Yeah, Bobby Gomes said he had a lot in common with that guy
Walton Goggins.
No, the dinner. Is that what was his name?
The guy that liked the
weird. He needed more.
Yeah.
I know, crazy from Bobby.
Also, Severance finale tonight.
Yeah, I'm so lost because I can't put down my phone during episodes sometimes.
Well, that's not if you're gonna have your phone in your hand, just don't even bother. Don't watch that.
I know it's like, and so like, and then I've already annoyed my girl to the point where she won't tell me anymore because she's like, you don't even want, and so I got to go back and watch them.
If you have access to premium, give it a refresh. The projection guys like myself and Noto, the world's smallest violin, is playing for all of us. Just banging out content every 10 minutes and something new changes. For a 5-gamer, it certainly feels like there are a lot of parts moving. Of course, at some point in this slate, Austin Reeves was the best play on the board because we saw Luka was ruled out earlier in the day. If you missed it, Austin Reeves is now gone. DFS officially doubtful. The Lakers look really, really awesome because they're so cheap. Yeah, Luka's out, Rui's out. Of course, no LeBron. Reeves is out. Vanderbilt is doubtful. We're assuming he's out. DFS also doubtful. Assuming he's out. That's one of the later games. The later stuff looks better, especially the Lakers and Milwaukee. And I feel like, I don't know, but right after all the Lakers stuff finalized, then Milwaukee's like, well, screw it. We're going to make Lillard questionable. I don't know if that was like a retort or that was something they were considering anyway, but just of note, you have the money for Giannis anyway. Giannis will look good as is, but he look amazing if Lillard happens to go bye-bye. And you probably won't know that until after the first 2 games lock because, again, the first 2 games, 7 o'clock on the dot, and then we got a 3-hour break until Chicago Sac, and then Toronto Golden State, and then Milwaukee and the Lakers. What is interesting in that late game, I guess – it's a good little strategy. Maybe we can discuss that. Noto, if we're like behind, I say behind. Let me ask you this: overall picture of this slate. How much New York, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Indiana do you think you're going to get? We did lose Halliburton, which does open up Indiana to some degree. But the prices have adjusted because Halliburton's been out for a bit anyway. The matchup versus Brooklyn's not great, but guys like Nemhard and Mathurin, they get some bumps and they look fine. They project okay. New York, Charlotte, as far as that game, we do have a questionable for New York. That is, who is the questionable? Brunson's out. Yeah, McBride. McBride is questionable, which could, I don't know who that would necessarily open up. I guess Campaign possibly, but I don't know how much we need that with all the other cheap stuff. We have Charlotte is pretty healthy considering. Ball's we're assuming he's going to play. We're assuming Bridges is going to play. They're both officially probable. Diabate, I think he was upgraded to probable as well. It seemed like he was potentially going to be out for the season. Just saw like the coaches are saying going in the right direction. I think it was updated. He's good to go. Marcus Garrett also available. So as of right now, Noto, and you make one lineup, I assume, one lineup tonight?
Yep.
Are we playing anybody in these first two games? Is it just like a full-on late stack, lock in one player and just kind of figure it out? Have you figured that out just yet, or we're still kind of, catching your breath from all the content today?
Yeah, I'll be building on the fly today, but if I'm playing anyone from the first two games, I think it's going to be somebody pretty expensive. So maybe Karl Anthony Towns with Brunson out, maybe Siakam. But again, the values are all coming in the later games, so I don't think you need to play anybody that's cheap in the first two games unless you're building, a handful of lineups. So for me, maybe Towns, maybe Siakam. We'll see about McBride. Then maybe I'll play some harder Anunoby. But yeah, I think it's just spend up on one or two guys and then wait for the late games.
Yeah, center's not very strong today, so I might do the same thing and just possibly just plug in Cat. And again, salary, we'll have the money to make it happen. And I'm making lineups on the fly as well, and we'll see it. That typically doesn't work out well when I'm hosting this show. I gotta say, Noto, my record, small sample size, I'm not good at multitasking and hosting this show and making good lineups. But
nobody's worse than this guy right here.
You're the worst?
I don't know. Yeah. Bobby says he's the worst, so there's a competition.
it's the negative ROI on doing a crunch time show is so. But people they should value. We sacrifice a lot.
This is where we turn it all around. Tonight's the night. We turn it all around, I think, maybe, possibly. Giannis has a 21-point projection over – no, I shouldn't say Giannis because Giannis you can play at power forward. You can play him at center if you want as well. But just kind of looking at raw point stuff as far as centers and, in particular, Cat has a 15-point projection over the next highest projection raw points-wise. So, again, the opportunity cost is not that immense. But certainly Cat can drop 60 on Charlotte. Wouldn't shock any of us. Good matchup for sure. Kirkwood, are we on Yahoo today? What are we doing today?
Yeah, I just threw some Yahoo in.
How are the Yahoo streaks treating you? People were asking about it the other day. You're still the king over there, or what?
I'm the king, but they haven't been treating me. Having the time with the kid.
Yeah.
And doing crunch time shows definitely affects a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a tough squeeze. Your child's all right? I know he's doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, not really, but yeah. We were in the ER last night. He fell and hit his head. Got a big he looked like a UFC fighter, a huge welt and like a golf ball that blew up. And we left the ER after 5 hours of being there because we still hadn't been seen, and we just said he's okay.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Sorry to hear that.
He's okay. He's fine. He's a trooper, man. It doesn't even faze him one bit.
He's got those cauliflower ears too. He's working on those as well.
I'll try to avoid those best. If he's a wrestler, that's the problem. But yeah, we'll try to avoid them.
I would never. Not that I'm going to mess with anybody, but definitely don't mess with the random person with the. That's the first tell. It's like, all right. Apologize to that person if you bump into him by accident. Profusely. All right. We should go ahead and drop that second clue, just kind of get this thing moving because we did not get a winner. I assume we didn't get a winner. I'm just checking the Discord right now. Live stream chat channel. Of course, that's a free channel. Most of our Discord channels are free, but we got to give the people a real chance. So don't feel bad if you don't know the answer. After the first clue, which is retired, the second clue, it's retired and HOF. HOF is our second clue. All right. Anything big picture wise you want to say, Noto, as far as the slate? I mean, Lakers. How many Lakers is too many Lakers? I guess is a big conversation in the slates. And I'm running optimal stuff, and probably 4? Are we getting 4?
I think
Probably
DraftKings 5 right now. I
Mm.
was seeing Markieff Morris is hitting the optimal, at least the last one I ran. So
How do you feel about that? I don't know if I feel great about that.
no, I don't feel good about that. Yeah, I mean, I like Goodwin, I like Vincent, I like Connect, and then the rest of them kind of just wait and see what their lineup looks like, I think.
Do not play Markieff Morris.
I ran a court.
This is the Daniel Jones play. If you somebody you just should not play.
You're speaking my language, Kirk.
Yep, I know. I'm trying.
I ran a court IQ, and I didn't kick everybody out. I think I left Rui on or something like that. But I kicked out Reeves, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Luka. Kicked them all off the court, and I was left with about 93 minutes. 93 minutes for and Connect gets a 21% usage bump up to 39.7%, which again, probably not going to sustain that, but it's just really bonkers. 1.43 FanDuel points per minute, 1.49 DK. He looks awesome. I'm wondering, Noto, if you have any rules, because I think ways to be different, like we're seeing, 4 Lakers, Vincent, Goodwin, Morris, Connect, and then Jackson Hayes. Another one's got 4 without Morris. Is there a cap we're putting on, Vincent, Goodwin, Connect? And I think the interesting one for tournaments is Shake Milton. That's the one I'm considering as like that. That's like kind of the pivot. Do you have any sort of rules you're considering?
Not me. I'm a hand builder, but I do it in lineup HQ. So no rules for me. But yeah, if I'm playing a cheap Laker that isn't getting a ton of ownership, I'd probably rather have Shake than Markieff Morris.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with that is
Shake gets buckets. Like, he's a natural scorer. Like, all you got to do is just think about who's going to be, what they're going to do when they're on the court, and like Connect and Milton get buckets. And you can play all these guys too. We don't have to make them a pivot. Like, you know what I mean? We can just load up.
They'll be down to 11, I think, assuming DFS, who's doubtful, is out. Assuming Vanderbilt is out. But like 6 through 11 is Milton, Koloko, Trey Jameson, Bronny James. By the way, dare I say Bronny James is not bonkers?
Perfect. This is if you're ever going to play Bronny James, this is it.
It really isn't completely insane. Like, I think it's like mildly in play. Cam Reddish, Alex Len. So there's some pretty fringy guys there that's left standing for the Lakers. But let's have anything else, Kirkwood, as far as big picture. We can dive in. We'll go game by game quickly. We'll try to run it back and give our favorite plays position by position. And then if we have time, I want to try to knock out some questions from chat as well. And when we go position by position, we won't do as in depth as Roth does typically. Just give our favorite couple plays at each position. But anything you got, Kirkwood, before we get going here quickly?
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. I think that it's all about the late games. You got plenty of time to react to it once, after these early games start. But like, you're going to want like a stud or someone that you think that can score a bunch of points, like one of them out of the first game. So the guys that I think like Mathurin is in play.
Yeah.
I think Miles Turner, although that's a little sketchier after he only got 22 minutes yesterday. But I think Siakam. So like one of those, I think like even like D'Angelo Russell is a decent play, but pick one or two of these guys and then just load up on the later end. And I need to say what's up to Tiny Hands Nation and Juggalo Nation. Thank you for watching. Yeah, there we go.
New York, Indiana, Chicago, the Kings, and the Lakers are all on the back half of a back-to-back. So that's in part why there's some craziness going on. Let's do it. Hit that like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications. Let's talk about the first game. Brooklyn and the Pacers, 222.5 is the total. Indiana is an 8-point favorite. Like we said, the two games up top are not necessarily all that appealing. We did get Halliburton ruled out once again. As far as Brooklyn, Cam Johnson is finally resting, and Cam Thomas, the Cams are resting tonight. Tosan's still in the G League. D'Anthony Melton, we haven't seen in a long time. But Brooklyn is down to 10 for if my math is correct, I believe it's 10. Yeah, Martin, Sharp, Watford, Lewis, and Wilson, we're presuming, coming off the bench. we're expecting Nembhard, Mathurin, Naismith, Pascal, and Turner to start for the Pacers. No, we've already kind of talked about we don't necessarily love this game. Not necessarily the best environment either. Brooklyn plays pretty slow. Pacers are without Halliburton. The prices have adjusted somewhat, but there are some, playable guys. But you're also locking in players with possibly some more stuff coming later with Lillard maybe getting ruled out. Then maybe you want some Kuzma revenge. Not sure. Or even like KPJ is another guy that's sort of in play. I know we've been if-then set up for that if we happen to lose Dame. But let's talk about this one first. No. Pacers, Nets. Are we excited here or what?
No, not excited. I think D'Angelo Russell's in play. You run, the court IQ or the fantasy labs on-off thing. He gets a nice little usage boost, nice little fantasy point per minute boost if you take off Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson. Obviously, Schroeder's not there anymore either. I think he's fine. Definitely a guy I would look to in tournaments. It's a pace-up spot for Brooklyn. Outside of that, I don't know. Nembhard and Mathurin on a normal slate would be more interesting, but I do prefer all the guys on the Lakers over those two. So if you want some mid-range guys that are going to get overlooked, we saw Nembhard have a pretty nice game last night. Mathurin let a lot of people down, so interesting. Actually ended with 35. I thought he had a much worse game. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest here. Maybe Siakam if you're spending up, but I kind of like Towns and Giannis as my favorite spends, and then kind of save everywhere else.
Let us know in the chat, by the way, who's your best bet, lock of the century of the week for we're talking about here in the private chat for the madness. Who do we like? Who are we locking in? Who's
for tonight? Like, let's get a bet. Who's the best bet for tonight?
Yeah, you're looking to get back, right? You got to get back because you said was it Louisville that didn't treat
you? Well,
I
threw the entire account on BYU, so I hope I'm pretty set.
Can you name one player on BYU?
I can't, but I've watched them a ton, and they're like legit. They've got this big. They got everything. They fire up the threes. They got a good guard. They've got that huge big. They're the kind of team I like. So
it's a big state. I know, Noto. How close are you to BYU?
It's about a 45-minute drive.
All right. Do you root for him? You care? Do you watch?
I mean, I went to Utah, so they're like the biggest rival, but I don't root against them. Most of the states, one or the other, pretty big rivalry, but I don't really care too much. DFS has kind of ruined my allegiances to any team.
It's killed my fandom as well too. It's mostly killed my fandom as well. Favorite play in this game, Kirkwood, as far as Brooklyn, Indiana, if you're going to play somebody on each side, who would it be?
Well, it would be D'Angelo Russell, especially on DraftKings. He's 5,800 is just cheap. And, he's going to see massive usage with all these guys out, like Noto said. In his last game in 29 minutes, he had 34% use rate against the Celtics. This is should be a good, decent matchup, decent pace to the game. So I like him. And then he's pretty much all I like. But, yeah, he's the only one I want on Brooklyn. But I do like some of the other side here on the page. I like Mathurin a lot. Miles Turner, like I said, although it's a little, just know it's shaky, right? But he could, if he gets the minutes, he'll go off. But I don't know what happened. Why did he only get 22 minutes? It doesn't even matter when we ask. Like, all these teams, their rotations are just getting so crazy. So, but anyway, and then Siakam or maybe Nembhard.
It could have been. I think it was like a game flow thing where, he wasn't on the court where they were coming back, and he was kind of stuck with a certain team. But I think that's what happened there. Yeah, that was the game where Dallas was supposed to win, and they just gave it up at the end. 135, 131. Turner, who was in there for him? Toppin. Obi played. Obi played, and then Shepard closed. They closed small. Yeah, because Dallas wasn't playing. I think they had Kai Jones didn't close for Dallas, so the game kind of closed smaller. But that is a little peculiar. But I think what happened is that Indiana went on a run. I'm pretty sure that it just, sometimes they just kind of stick with who's out there when they're playing well. Okay. Anything else we should say here as far as Brooklyn, Indiana? We do have 23% ownership currently on Russell. He is the most popular player on DK. Nembhard 22, Mathurin 14, Naismith 11, Pascal 11%. So considering it's a 5-game slate, this game's not going to be terribly popular. Probably one later that's going to be less popular. We'll talk about that soon enough, but I think we can move on. I do see people in chat. Oh, McBride is in for New York, so we don't necessarily have to worry about. And right on cue. Good job there, New York. Thank you for letting us know. Well, that game does start in about 40 minutes or so. The chat is talking about Yale and Creighton.
Yeah,
I don't know what
Creighton already played.
Oh, well, I'm just reading. Look, I'm just a Ron Burgundy man. I didn't fill out a bracket. They're talking about Creighton. They're talking about, I guess, Purdue won. Shout out to them, the Boilermakers.
So I see Steve Jones said Michigan is a lock tonight. So that's a crazy game. That's UC San Diego, who are like they've got a kid from New Zealand who's pretty good. They got a bunch. They're really coached really well. They move the ball incredibly well, and they shoot threes incredibly well. Like it's a perfect team. Like with variance, if they're threes, if they're going off, they could absolutely crush. But like then you got Michigan, who's been I think is underrated. So I actually bet I bet Michigan already in that one. So I'm glad that he's on the same side there.
You said you had the entire account on BYU.
Well, I had this put in before I needed to do it.
All right. Yeah.
There's always more to count, you know.
Well, I took my favorites and I bet them early. And then I started getting crazy with Louisville today, and that was bad. And then I'm back though. The kid is back.
Adams, the best New Zealand player of all time. Is that correct? Is anybody better than Steven Adams from New Zealand? Somebody let me know. Okay. New York, Charlotte is the second half of the 7:00 games. New York is an 8-point favorite in Charlotte. 222 is a total. We just got news that McBride is good to go. Brunson, of course, is still out. Back half of back-to-back. Mitch Robb got ruled out. Charlotte, LaMelo's probable. Bridges is probable. Diabate is, I think he's upgraded to probable, as is Garrett. No other surprises for the Hornets and New York, but they're playing their guys. They have their three centers now. Looks like Nurkic, Williams, and Diabate, so it's hard to roster any of those guys. I'll throw it to you, Noto. New York, Charlotte. I think you said if you're going to play one of these guys in the first two games, maybe Cat is one of the premier plays.
Yeah, I think I'm locking Cat. Probably going to end up with Giannis like everybody else. But Cat's ownership's not too bad. 33% on a slate where you have all the salary in the world. And I know he hasn't been great recently. He's kind of struggled since coming back from injury. We haven't seen like a huge ceiling from him. But, he played really good in the first quarter last night. I think he averages 1.53 fantasy points per minute with Brunson off the floor. Not too worried about a matchup against Charlotte. And we know Tibbs. I mean, he's like the DFS hero when it comes to coaches. He'll give his guys minutes no matter what. It could be 5 nights in a row. Whoever's starting is going to get big minutes. So I like Cat. And now that McBride's in, I don't think we need to worry too much about Payne. The other guys, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, they're fine in large field stuff, but I don't think anybody in the mid-range is going to get much ownership tonight.
Let's see. As far as ownership-wise, Cat's coming in at 33% on DK, Bridges 22. Everybody else in the teens of notes, OG, Hart, Miles Bridges, who 9K seems pretty steep. He's been very good, though, for what it's worth. He's coming back off did they give him a body part? I don't remember, but they rested him. They're in the tankathon. The 4 teams, vying for those 3 spots. Sorry, the Jazz won yesterday. Sorry about that, Noto. They snapped their streak, but I think they're still jockeying with Washington for that number 1 spot. What do you got here? The New York, Charlotte. Give it to me, Kirkwood.
Yeah, I'll just put more with Cat here. So here's the thing. I've been watching Cat. I've been playing Cat a bunch lately. Mitch Robinson has definitely impacted like a bunch of his rebounding and more so like defensive like blocks and stuff. So it's nice. So the fact that he's out is a big plus to me in this game. And like he was pretty good against Bam in Miami in that first half. He had a horrible first quarter and ended up with 17 points at the half or something where he was, and then they just blew him out. They went from being like down like a bunch in the first quarter to just absolutely smoking the Heat. And so he only got 31 minutes. And when he came back over his last stint, it was just like guards chucking random shots and Mikal Bridges was going off a little bit. So I think this is like a phenomenal spot for Cat. So he's definitely the guy. And other than that, I just don't really see the point of playing much more. Like maybe like I don't know. We should talk about for the New York side. I think I'm pretty good with just Cat.
How many lineups you got to make? You're probably not making them, Kirkwood. I'm guessing you're probably a one main lineup.
Yeah.
Noto, we're not big. This is not necessarily the big MME like 150 crew. How many lineups would you have to make to get to LaMelo?
I mean, I considered him right off the bat. It's just super risky.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I don't have a specific, but he's going to be low owned. He has been playing like 30 minutes. He can always go off. So, and this is, we have a plethora of late values. So like any of these any of these early game studs could help, but they're just funky right now too with the minutes being divvied out here for this Charlotte team, and also how competitive is this game going to be?
Yeah,
but probably like five lineups. I would at least have one.
And the other thing is like the late stuff can change a little bit more in the favor of late stuff with the possibility of Lillard being out. He's questionable, midday downgrade right after the Lakers roll everybody out. And then Giddey, originally they said he wasn't going to play a back-to-back, and he played yesterday. So I'm not sure if they're walking that back, but he's still officially questionable. But it seems like there's a decent chance he sits. So, guys like Kevin Huerter, revenge game would get a little bit of a boost. I know you're playing on Yahoo. Trey Jones is really too cheap over there.
Yeah,
as is, and he would definitely get a boost if Giddey's out. He would probably be. I don't want to make your lineup, but kind of for sure in your lineup.
He's already there. Yeah, you have to play him. It's just a stupid.
He's like $13. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's drop that third clue for the people. This is where it gets. A little bit interesting. Retired Hall of Fame, HOF. You didn't know what that meant. And the third clue for today's Sleep Thursday is Decider. Decider is the third clue. Let's see. I see Carmelo Anthony was guest, and Sterling Sharp, and Pistol Pete, and John Havlicek, and Wayne Gretzky, Hakeem the Dream, Mike Tyson getting guest there by D-Rock. That was our pre-show conversation. We talked about Mike Tyson. Okay, let's talk about the anything injury-wise. The new report just came out about a minute ago. Jaylen Brown's out tomorrow. That hurts my season-long team. I'm in the playoffs right now. Jaylen Brown, it's brutal. People really care about that for sure. But let's talk about these last three games. We did mention the Bulls. The Bulls play the Kings. 235 is the total. The Kings are 6-point favorites. Again, Ball is out. Lonzo, Dosunmu is out for the season. Giddey, back half of back-to-back. Originally was stated that he wasn't going to play, but nothing official just yet. Stay tuned. I don't know when we'll get clarity, probably after the first two games lock. As far as Sacramento, Laravia is questionable. Sabonis out. I felt really good about Valanciunas yesterday until that game went small. They went small against Cleveland. They didn't like Valanciunas out there. I thought he was a good bet. It did not work. Did not get there for me, but I would do it again. No. Bulls, Kings, what is your assessment?
Yeah, probably won't have a ton of exposure here. I do like DeMar DeRozan quite a bit. You can play the revenge narrative for DeRozan or for Zach LaVine. Kind of pick your revenge there. I think my favorite's probably DeRozan. Sabonis is out, obviously helping all the Sacramento guys. I'll probably be debating DeRozan, and Cat is my second favorite spend up as we get closer to lock. Outside of that, Monk's fine if you're building a couple lineups. Not sure I'll play anybody on the Bulls. If Giddey's out, then you can go to Zach LaVine. I thought Vucevic was a great tournament play early in the day. We're finally starting to see him play 30 minutes a night again. Don't mind the matchup here against Valanciunas, but I just don't think I can get there now that the slate's kind of stars and scrubs-ish.
Kirkwood?
I like Vooch. I'm with you. I think you can play him. He's like you said, he's getting there with minutes lately. Plus, if Giddey's out, the matchup is really solid for him too as well. So I like him. Other than that, the guard stuff gets a lot more interesting if Giddey's out. So we wait. If Giddey plays, I don't think I think he probably will do well, but I don't want to really pay that price tag. But so if he's out, I would definitely bump up like Huerter and Kobe White, Trey Jones too. But Trey Jones is going to be, I think they're all fine, but they become much better plays.
What is the Vengeance power ranking scale for you, Kirkwood? As far as
DeRozan doesn't have an ounce of revenge in him.
Levine though, Levine does.
He's not that. Levine has it for sure.
How about Herter? Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. That's the one. That is the guy tonight. If Giddy's out, giddy up on Herter.
I don't know. They used to call DeRozan Debo from the guy from Friday because he was such a big kid and used to pick on everybody. So maybe he's got some revenge in him.
We'll see by the end of the night.
He's an athlete who struggled with a lot of mental health stuff. He's been open about, and I just don't peg him to be. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't peg him. If you're telling me he's like Debo, then
I do like. I guess here's the question, Noto. Does Herter become a better play than like Nembhard or Mathurin if we lose Giddey? We won't know this, but like, is he worth like not playing those two for on the potential of Herter being better if that news drops?
Shoot, I didn't even think about Herter revenge too. Jeez. I think I would still prefer Nembhard or Mathurin, but yeah, I like the spot for Herter too if Giddey's out.
All right. We got 2 more games to go, 25 minutes until lock. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. I'm being asked in the Discord if I've seen Friday before. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, it's 25 years probably since I've seen it, but I've definitely seen Friday. Let's see. It's not Pat Riley. It's not Tom Landry, Gordie Howe, Roger Clemens. Some guesses coming in here in the live stream chat. We'll go ahead and drop the 4th clue. Since nobody's got it just yet, let's go ahead and get a winner. And boy, none of you guys, neither one of you guys has to give me the answer, or even throw in a guess in our private chat. Feel free to. And Kirkwood, you haven't ruined it yet. You said you claimed you're going to ruin it. That's not happening either.
I didn't claim. I said if I get it. So the chance of that is absolutely 0.
Retired Hall of Fame decider, and the 4th clue is direction. Direction is the 4th clue. Retired Hall of Fame decider. Direction. Okay, let's move on. So I said before, there's like one game that might even get less attention than Brooklyn, Indiana. I think it's this one. The Raptors and the Warriors, 224.5 is the total. Golden State scheduled blowout, right? They're 15-point favorites here, 14-point favorites. As far as who's in and who's out, let me get the updated injury report, see if anything changed. I'm guessing nothing did, but we got the 6:30 injury report from the league. Barrett, of course, he's got a rest. Dick is still out. No Grady. Ingram, we're probably not going to see them all season long. They signed him and gave him a huge extension. What a weird thing Toronto did there. They traded for him. Jared Rhoden, he's in the G League hanging out. And Walter is out as well. As far as the Warriors, the only player there is GP3. Gary Payton, he's questionable. He's got that knee, the mitten, so we don't know if he's going to play or not. They don't necessarily need him. Yeah, Kirkwood. Warriors, Raptors. I think if anything, it's kind of an interesting pivot. If somehow something went wrong for you in the first couple games, whatever little you play, then maybe you get on Toronto Golden State and get away from the other stuff a little bit because you're playing catch up. But I don't really like this game as a general thought. How about you?
Yeah, nothing's really popping. Steve Kerr is a joke too. You can't ever figure out what he's going to do. And the one play I think there's upside with is Kuminga. Now that he's been back for a little bit here, and he hasn't popped off yet, but the minutes have been there. And this is a Toronto. Toronto's a team that he certainly could do some damage against. So I probably like him the best out of any of them. I don't really have any plays, but we've got time to figure that out. So Steph's playing, right?
Yeah.
Gary Payton's questionable.
Yeah, they have a full team, full squad.
Yeah. Well, minus Gary, maybe.
Yeah,
Payton.
I mean Gary Payton. Yeah, he's questionable. That doesn't matter a ton, I don't think. But
he's not the glove. What is he?
He's the mitten.
The mitten.
Yeah.
We'll love that the other night.
Yeah. I was doing some research on nickname stuff because I was writing about Austin Reeves the other day. But there was about an hour window where he was the best player on the slate, and I was just writing an article. You remember there was a time he put out a poll. He basically said he wants to retire his 2 nicknames. I don't know if you guys know this. He was known as Hillbilly Kobe and like AR-15. But he said he wanted to kind of move on from those two, and he ran a poll. I guess it was through I don't know, the Lakers or I don't know, submissions and all that. But it turned out the nickname that stuck was Stone Cold, in reference to Steve Austin, I guess. But that's I guess that's what he's going with these days. I don't know if you can give yourself a nickname, but another nickname, Connect Four, we'll be talking about later on in the show, I imagine. But do we like Stone Cold for Austin Reeves? You guys like that? Yeah,
love it.
I can. The excitement is palpable. I can see it. Woo! Jumping off the screen. Do you agree with that assessment, Noto? As far as like, you're not necessarily playing anything from Toronto Golden State, unless like you missed out on something really good early, or you lock something in really bad and you got to play some catch up. On your main lineup, you're probably not touching Toronto Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, even if I get out to a poor start, I think I'd rather just play a couple guys from Sacramento or Chicago.
Yeah.
Or maybe get different with Milwaukee. We like Brook Lopez a little bit in tournaments every now and then. So I don't think I'll play anybody from this game, even if I'm playing from behind. But yeah, I mean, Curry, Butler, they can both get there. I don't see this game staying competitive. And if it does, then I'm fine taking the loss.
Shout out to D-Rock in the Discord channel. Did guess today's Fleet Thursday. D-Rock is really good at this game, I believe. Steve confirmed this. Am I reading this correctly? Did he pay it forward and give it to somebody else? Is that what happened here? I think that's what's happening. If I'm reading this correctly.
Yep, he sent it to Mr. Perfect.
There you go. Shout out to D-Rock. Very kind. Paying it forward to Mr. Perfect 7. Okay. We'll drop that fifth clue just for fun. We can play it out and we'll describe it. We'll let you guys know later on. The fifth clue, by the way, is design. Retired, Hall of Fame, decider, direction, and design. That is today's Fleet Thursday. Let's talk about the Bucks and the Lakers. Bucks are 8-point favorites here. 219 is the total. This is not a TNT game, but thankfully this is not happening on TNT because the tournament's going on. It's on NBA TV, so maybe the NBA is not completely losing their mind because people aren't really paying attention outside of us to what's going on as far as the association. But 219 is the total here in Milwaukee. Pretty big favorite. Midday downgrade of Dame Lillard. Bobby Portis, of course, still out with his suspension. Giannis is always on the injury report as probable. I assume that's going to hold, but you never know. He's probable with his patella. As far as the Lakers, Luka's out. DFS officially doubtful. That's Dorian Finney-Smith. Rui Hachimura is out. LeBron, of course, is still out. Austin Reeves is out. Jared Vanderbilt is doubtful as well. And this is kind of what we teased at the top of the show, Noto. Like, it's all about the Lakers, and it's so easy to get Giannis. Like, just Giannis and 4 Lakers. Is that what we're doing? Is it just so obvious? And how do we get away from that?
Yeah, that's the easy way to build tonight. I just haven't been on Giannis much this season. He hasn't had much of a ceiling. He's had a certainly high floor, and that was going to help on a slate like this. But Lillard ends up playing. You might be able to get away with playing, I don't know, Siakam, Towns, and DeMar, something like that. But I'm definitely playing the Lakers side of it. Michael in the chat says nobody in LA is calling Reeves Stone Cold. He promises.
I wouldn't think. I haven't heard it either. Just Google told me. I'm like, he kind of picked it, and like, I don't think that's sticking. But go ahead.
Yeah. We can try. But yeah, for me, I'm locking in Vincent, Goodwin, and Connect. I think they're all going to start. And then after that, it kind of depends on where I'm sitting in my contests. If I need to make up some ground, I do like Milton. I think Jackson Hayes interesting. He's not going to see like a huge usage boost, minute boost, but I mean, the front court's shorthanded too. So if he could run into 30 minutes, he could easily get, 15 rebounds, something like that. So I think Hayes is interesting. Probably won't be on Markieff. After that, I don't know. Can you play anyone else? I don't really want to play Bronny, even though you guys are trying to talk me into it.
The chat's talking about it. I think the move is I was going to say if you're behind, if you want to be a little bit different, just play Shake Milton instead of Goodwin or Vincent. I think that's the move because he projects less. Bronny, for what it's worth, we're giving him 16 minutes and about a 15-point projection. He's been good in the G League, my understanding, for what it's worth. But I'm not making enough lineups to get there. I don't think it's the craziest thing to do. I'm not trying to convince you, Noto, but if you were running like 25 lineups, play one, get a pinch. Just for fun. I don't know. They're asking about Cam Reddish. Like, he just has no usage. And who wants to take a guess on Cam Reddish's usage in the season? Kirkwood, tell me. What do you think his usage is? Cam Reddish.
7%.
No, is it higher or lower than 7%?
It's got to be higher than 7.
It's 8.49.
Price is right, baby.
That is so bad. It's so
and
bad.
I get both. I'm getting both.
You got both
prizes.
showdowns?
Yeah.
You got to be within 1%, I think. I don't know what the rules are officially. I need you to power rank the Lakers for me, Kirkwood.
Connect is my favorite. He's not my favorite. Then I guess Jordan Goodwin. He's just going to distribute a bunch. He's going to be out there, and his price is cheap. So I guess he's probably number 2. I like Shake Milton, number 3. Gabe Vincent, number 4. 5 would be Jackson Hayes, and 6 would be Bronny.
You got Bronny ahead of Markieff Morris. Markieff Morris, he could also be Bronny's.
I'm not ranking Markieff Morris. I'm not ranking him. The guy's been playing since Chop was in varsity high school, wearing his leather jacket.
I bet Markieff's not as old as we think he is.
I know he's probably younger.
I always had more success with Marcus than Markieff.
Yeah, Marcus is much better. Even
who's the one that Joker trucked? Which Morris was it? Remember, like there was he fouled Joker, and then
it's got to be Markieff.
It's got to be Markieff.
Yeah. But he was on the Heat. For some reason, I'm forgetting it. That was, I don't know why I'm forgetting, but 35 years old, by the way, Markieff Morris, as is Marcus.
Yeah, I messed that up. I was saying I should have said Markieff Morris was playing since Chop was spraying people with cologne in the strip club, gentleman's club back in the day. Distributing cologne.
He would actively spray the people. He wouldn't.
And mints. I don't know. What do they do? Do they just let you spray? Or do they?
Well, you've been in the bathroom, doesn't?
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone get the cologne though.
No, but if you do, you got to give a tip. So
you got to tip the guy. Yeah.
I always try to make no eye contact so I can get out of there without tipping. You know.
What happens is it inevitably, and this is I'm not endorsing this, but guys just don't wash their hands. They don't want to deal with it. And that's not the solution.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the question.
I've seen that too much.
If you wash your hands, he's gonna put the freaking paper towel in your face, and you got to take it. So you have to tip. So
does he take Zelle? I don't have dollars on me.
Well, so are you going to be the guy who's going to say, "Sorry, I don't have any dollars on me"?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to get out of there with dirty hands? What's the play? What's the play?
I just have to wipe on my shirt. That's the only other option.
None of them is optimal. Like none of that works for any of us. But wash your hands though. Make sure you wash your hands. So that's if you learn anything from this show, play Lakers and wash your hands. What if Lillard? What if Lillard's in? By the way, Noto. Like, are people going to play Lillard?
I don't think so, but I like him as a pivot. If you're wanting to get a little different, I do think. If Giannis gets like 55, there's certainly pass for him to not be optimal tonight.
Yeah. Kirk, would you give your thought as far as the Bucks?
I mean, it's Giannis. I think Dame, if he plays, you could play him. I think when is Kuz going to do some starting? He's so bad.
He's playing against his former team.
Yeah.
He's bad. 5,400.
Like, you could make like an interesting lineup, especially if Lillard's out. Kuz should be better. I mean, so then it's like Kevin Porter and Kuz and Giannis.
Kevin Porter projects really good in our if then. 30 minutes, assuming that holds, assuming he starts, he looks really good. So put that in the back of your pocket as well. Anything else there?
No. I mean, they're all the cheap ones are all pivots against the Lakers. Like you could play like a Gary Trent.
So before we go around the horn really quickly, position by position, start loading up questions in the YouTube. If you have any questions, if you want to skip the line, put it in the Discord now. I just see a bunch of guesses there in the Discord as far as Slate Thursday. We'll explain that in a second. Noto, who do we have locked in for 7 o'clock? Just Cat? Anybody?
Right now I have Cat, Siakam, and Nembhard.
Ooh, that's a lot.
that's my non-Giannis team, so we'll see.
You got 2 teams.
I've got one. I'm going back and forth, but that's what's in there right now.
Okay, yeah, I see. You're still kind of debating. Kirkwood, have you locked in as far as you're still going back and forth? Are we locking anybody in at 7:00 and you're one?
I have nobody. So I'm running one thing right now quickly because I forgot about time. And I'll tell you in a minute if I've switched. But
the people will want to know. We'll explain the Fleet Thursday. It's a retired player, a Hall of Famer. Decider is a way of saying this person was a GM. They won 6 championships as a GM. Direction is a reference to their last name. Directions like north or south, east or west. And clue number 5 was design, because as lore goes, as the rumor goes, he is the logo. It's Jerry West. I had to pick a Laker. We picked a Laker on this slate. So that was today's Slate Thursday. Shout out to D-Rock. And shout out to D-Rock for paying it forward and giving the week 3 of premium to in the Discord. Okay. Any Discord questions hanging out?
D-Rock is also big NBA chat member too as well. So
there you go.
He's in those streets.
So I got a question for you.
A lot of fighting going on in there.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, do you get involved? Are you a referee for that?
I try to keep the peace of all people. But I half try to keep the peace, but I'm also half trying to stir things up too at the same time.
Yeah, so. You're conflicted because you enjoy. Secretly, you like.
Nobody enjoys it more than me. I do to stir things up.
Noto Aside's got a question for you. It's a 2v2 for a single entry cash. So 2v2 Monk. And I guess that's Keegan Murray, it looks like, versus 2 players for Sacramento, or Keon and Pascal Siakam.
Ooh, I'd probably take the second, but I wouldn't play Keon. So maybe get an extra Laker in there, Jackson Hayes, something like that, if you can.
And Beener was asking other players you guys mentioned, any other players in the 7:00 games you like. You ran down a couple, Noto. Is there anybody you like but didn't necessarily make your lineup?
D'Angelo Russell's a guy that didn't make my lineup that I'm fine playing.
Cash. Do we have Kuzma or Kuminga, Noto?
Neither cash game guys for me, but I guess Kuminga, I don't know.
If we lose Lillard, it's Kuzma, right?
Yeah, I guess keep that. Yeah, I guess you'll have the option late.
Give me your favorite point guard. Like maybe your favorite point guard, your most your tournament dart point guard, Kirkwood. Just in general, if you want to specify site.
I think you just YOLO LaMelo right now, but yeah, that's what I would do.
Noto, your favorite point guard in the slate?
I like Vincent a lot and Milton for tournaments, but I'm getting more Nembhard than I originally thought. I think he's interesting.
Give me your favorite shooting guard, Noto.
Let's go. Depends on what site, but Goodwin or Connect, they're going to be my favorite shooting guard, small forward.
Same question, Kirkwood.
What shooting guard? Does it matter site or?
Yeah.
Okay. Dalton Connect and Matherin.
All right, there's a question for you specifically, Noto. J-Sam wants to know here in the Discord, FanDuel GPP, if Giddey and Dame are out, who would be a better play, Herter or Kuzma?
I'd probably go Herter. I just don't ever play Kuzma, but yeah, I don't know.
Any Toronto players we like? Anybody? Bueller?
No.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, we didn't even have any of them projected for more than 30 minutes.
They're trying to lose. We're giving 27 minutes to quickly. Their rotations are all over the place. Pirtle, the most rested man in America, is back from his rest, but he's only projected to play 23 minutes. It's tough to make projections for Toronto because the weird thing is they're probably more likely to play the less close this game is. If this game is close, if God forbid Toronto's winning, Scotty Barnes is boom. You got to sit right here. Pirtle, you sit down. You're scoring too much. You're rebounding too much. and you just can't predict that stuff. You got to put a number on it, but
And then
nobody projects well.
Orlando's in. Orlando, get in there.
I mean, Jamal Shed was too good. They said, Jamal Shed, you're scoring too much. He played like 12 minutes when he started like a week ago, whatever that was. And like, I don't know how you predict this stuff. And a lot of it's game flow dependent. A couple more questions here from chat.
Let me say this on quickly. I think his score could be worthwhile tonight. Like, even if he just has like a 30 plus fantasy game, because some of the studs could, like Giannis, Noto's fading Giannis, so he could load up with like Derek, just all like kind of the mid range and then the value on top, and then Cat or whatever. But I think that Bill like quickly could sneak in there.
We Major wants to know if Jameson is in play at 3.8 on FanDuel. I don't think so. Not unless he somehow starts. We're giving him 10 minutes. Like I don't think so. Levine is in. He's not in the injury report, so I assume he is good to go. They're asking about Levine in chat. Favorite small forward, Kirkwood?
Connect again, Matherin again, depending on the team. And I actually think Kuzma, I'm always wrong when I think this, but Kuzma could go off, and I also think Zach LaVine could go off. Like, on this slate, give me some revenge.
No, small forward.
So you're fine with revenge, just not DeMar revenge?
I just don't believe it's in him. That's what I'm. Maybe I'm wrong.
What if he just plays well?
Yeah, I mean that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
Okay. What was the question?
Favorite small forward. And yeah, DeRozan's just like standard game is good. By the way, specific to FanDuel, his price is like $500 cheaper over there. He's really, really good on FanDuel. If you're playing cash, like definitely play DeRozan on FanDuel. Your favorite small forward is who?
Yeah, it's Connect, and then for tournaments, I like DeRozan.
Okay, and then give me power forward. No.
Let's go. Pretty ugly position. I have Siakam right now, so I guess I'll go that. With that.
Kirkwood.
What is it? Favorite at any position?
Power forward.
Oh. I mean, Giannis is my favorite, and like my favorite like low owned guy, and out there play would be Kuminga.
Okay.
So right now we have Giannis at 25%. That can't be right.
I don't think that's correct. There's been a lot of moving parts and a lot of levers going all over the place.
He's going to be like 50% owned.
We got him 41 on FanDuel. Let's see. What do we have him on, DK? You said 25?
Yeah.
That seems... Yeah, I don't think that's correct. And it sounds like we're all playing Giannis. We all at least like the idea of getting some Giannis. And I refreshed, and it's still 25%. As far as the big spends, it's Giannis 25, Cat 35, Ball 13, Curry 10, which is weird because it's like, where's the money going? I'm confused. But hey, maybe we're missing something here. I'm not really sure. Favorite center, Noto?
I'm going to go Towns and Jackson Hayes.
Kirkwood?
Vooch and Towns.
Okay, so Kirkwood, CW89's got a question. Shake or KPJ if Dame is out?
Why not both?
It's a good question. I think KPJ will probably project a little bit better, assuming he starts.
And he'll probably get more ownership.
I don't know. Because I think people, well, yeah, probably. Because people might cap the Lakers too. They might say no more than 3 or 4, depending on. As far as, if you're running 150, you put in some rules. And Shake might be the odd man out. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions here? Hanging out in chat. They're asking about Trey Lyles. I don't think I'm getting the Trey Lyles. Anybody with Trey Lyles love or like, or he's okay? Let's see. I did see another question here. I didn't want to miss out. So, Noto, Alexander wants to know 6,400 or less on DK utility. So, utility, your best utility play for cash on DraftKings, 6,400. I'll give you a second on that. JSam, this is for Kirkwood, FanDuel tournaments, Nemhart, or Herder if Giddy is out. I think we discussed that earlier.
Nemhard or Herder?
If Giddy's out.
Yeah, give me Herder. Red Velvet.
Yeah. Anything else going on in the chat? Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Do all those
Guy
things.
is vengeful too. Very vengeful, Herder.
Matherin or Naismith? Anybody. That's for the field.
Matherin.
Naismith.
Ooh.
We play him at small forward, right? I think so.
Just got him in there.
I think you're supposed to play him at small forward. I'm kind of there you go. There's Locke. My last lineup did not get what I wanted to be, but you know what? We're just going to backload and hopefully things work out. Anything else hanging out there as far as chat? I think we are good. Here's a late question from Scott Kirkwood: Monk or DeRozan? That's all I got. It's not telling me anything otherwise.
I like Monk personally. Noto likes DeRozan.
Do we think Giddy sits? I think that was the original plan. Yeah. Does Giddy sit? I guess we'll know because it's the next game that locks in 3 hours. But
I don't know why they play him, but
the Bulls are in a weird spot where they're basically stuck. They're not terrible enough to fully tank. And they have the same record as my terrible Heat. It's inevitable they're going to play the 9-10 game. It's going to be Miami and Chicago. Get excited.
Spo is so angry. How do you feel about Jimmy Butler personally?
I like Butler. I think he's a complicated person. I think he's a lot of fun when he's like he's a GPP play, right? When you get good Butler, like he's like super charming. You see him in interviews, like this is a great dude. And then, he's around the team for a certain number of years and things start to happen. I think he was upset that he never got his contract with Miami. And Miami's like, why are we going to extend this guy? He's 35, 36, injury history. And it's not like Miami has got a 2-year window where they're going to push. So I understand why Miami wouldn't sign him either. But yeah, I mostly like him. I know he's difficult, it seems. At some point, maybe it's you, if every team you're on, right?
It's kind of like me.
Is that you? You got to point the finger at yourself at some point?
Well, a lot of corporate jobs and stuff. I guess sometimes I had to realize it was me,
I can see you saying you're doing the wrong thing in a corporate situation sometimes.
All right, we got to get out of here. Steve's got to go to the store.
Steve's got to go. We got to go. Do hit that like button. Enjoy the madness. Enjoy the basketball. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:00. Hit the like button your way out. We're out of here. That was Noto. That was Kirkwood. Shout out to producer Steve. Holler.